A bit. Hello and good morning. Welcome to Living Abroad. In this video, we're going to talk about my daily routine, or what you might be expect from living in the Philippines. This is, of course, a live stream based on our last video. As usual, we'll discuss that. It's going to be very light, very straightforward. It won't be too long, probably. And as usual, it's an open discussion, so feel free to ask any questions you may have regarding life in the Philippines, cost of living, relationships, whatever you may have on your mind. So yeah, interact with me in the comment section, ask your questions, and we'll jump right into it. So if you haven't seen my last video, perhaps check it out to have a better understanding of this video, although it's pretty straightforward, daily life, right? I don't know where I put the water. 1 second, there it is. Okay, so it's been super hot in the Philippines. Lots of stuff happening. Oh, yesterday I saw, this is not obviously the Philippines, but in the U.S., I think it was Baltimore, that bridge collapsed because that cargo ship just slammed into it. At first, it looked pretty suspicious for a big-ass ship like that to just hit a bridge like that, and the whole thing collapsed. But after getting some more information, it doesn't look like an attack of some kind. It was just a natural thing. Anyhow, so my condolences to whoever passed away from that bridge. I think they were looking for like 6 or 7 people at the time. Anyway, that's a whole different story. And the water is cold, and it was nighttime, and I'm sure it was difficult to. I saw the current as well, so super strong. So let's go ahead and read some of the comments here. Hey, Michael John. Good morning, Alex. Good evening from Florida. Hope you're doing well, brother. Yes, I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing really well. Life is great. I cannot complain. If you guys saw my video from yesterday, the day before, I showed everybody my apartments, the neighborhood. I interacted with some locals. And oh, if you saw that video, you may have seen, I explained it in the video, but I'll do it again. I had like a hidden camera, and I went to spoke with some girls. And I was just basically trying to show how friendly they are and how super nice if you just talk to them. I know it's just about asking questions about directions or the bus. I don't know what I was talking about. But the idea is they're approachable, right? So, and not necessarily every person is going to be like that, or you're going to get a chance to date them. But the point is that they're very friendly. And I did that with a whole bunch of people in that video, from the cafe to the night market. And even if you watch that video all the way till the end, those kids that play the music on that guitar for me, the women from college that were wearing the anime costumes. There's a whole bunch of stuff in that video. So it was a fun video for me to make, but not to edit. Those kind of videos take a long time to put together. There's a lot of choppy parts, a lot of music, a lot of transition, and a whole bunch of overlay, which I have to find the footage. I don't know what I'm talking about, but that's my daily life. That's part of it, right? So that's my daily routine. For me, a person who's still kind of working, right, on YouTube, I have to spend a couple hours a day, more than a couple hours. Actually, I dedicate a lot now because I have like 3 channels. So I put in more than a regular workday into YouTube at this point, because it is my only source of income until I pay off the house, and that'll be like the rent money be mine. I'm all over the place. Anyway, let's read some more comments. Semper Fi or Fi says, "Hi Alex, how's Palm? When is she coming back to you? We miss her." Palm is fantastic. Actually, I'll be going to her, so I'm gonna go ahead and see Palm in Thailand. So that's she's came to me the past couple of times. She's flown over to wherever I was, the Philippines, India. So I'm gonna do my part and step up my game and go meet her this time in Thailand, and I'm sure she'll be on the channel. Surrey Case, hi. Are you considering non-resident or deemed resident of Canada? Trying to figure out for myself as it impacts taxes. It doesn't really impact taxes. You see, file your income tax the way you would regularly. The fact that you're a resident does not change, because if you don't change your permanent location, your home address, I mean, there's some myth about having your citizenship revoked as well. That's not going to happen. So as long as, you know, there's no, I don't see how taxes would have any effect on it unless you actually want to identify yourself as a non-resident. Because if, like, you're traveling elsewhere, then you can maybe tell CRA that, you know, you're no longer living in Canada, therefore you can be exempt from some of the taxes. But then that might cause different issues. I don't know. Because I am self-employed and I do my taxes, I make money online, so it doesn't really matter where I work. For me personally, it does not affect my taxes in that sense. But I'm not a tax consultant, so definitely look into that yourself. But I'm still considered a resident of Canada because that's where my primary residence is. That's my physical address, my house. I have a lot of connect, my banking, everything's still in Canada for me personally. Chagzi says, your daily reporting on current affairs in Southeast Asia and the rest of the world is very informative and well put together. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Chugzy. So Chugzy is referring to my second channel called Traveling Abroad, where I bring daily news about the Philippines and other Southeast Asian countries, and worldwide, if it's big enough, I report on it. It does take a lot of time, I'll be honest, because throughout the day I'm looking for news, I'm searching for events. Like I said before, this channel is going to get basically shut down since I was not active on it for a while, so I decided to post regularly. It takes a lot of time and energy, so I'm not sure if I'm going to continue doing that. I might just bring like weekly news, like do the same thing but just once a week and bring up the top stories and bring that up to you guys. So I'll see what happens with that. I'm still playing around with it. I might start a whole brand new channel because the people that are on that channel are mainly from the Thai Pass, the thing that happened during the pandemic and where people need to apply for a Thai Pass. So most, like 95% of the subscribers are just very specific niche videos they're looking for, which no longer is necessary. So when they see a video, they don't click on it. Therefore, YouTube thinks it's a trash video and does not show it to new viewers. So I think it's best to just start a whole new channel if I want to continue down the path of bringing daily news. Story time with James. Says, hey bro, great channel. This is James. Hello James, thank you. I appreciate the support and the feedback. Chuggy says to Surrey Case, I remember you. I'm on the North Shore, lol. So between Chuggy and Surrey Case. Michael John says, are the boats ferry transport from island to island? Are they generally smooth or rough waters? Those boats are generally smooth because they're pretty big. I mean, the major boats, the bigger boats, if you're going from one big island to another one. But unfortunately, Philippines safety standards for ocean travel, transport is one of the lowest in the world, I think. So you still got to be super careful. Speaking of safety, recently, maybe because I've been covering the news a lot more, I've noticed a lot of like accidents in the Philippines when it comes to tourists and travel and tourist vans. And just, I think in the last 2 or 3 days, 20 people have passed away because the driver just crashed into a dump truck or went off the road, or a fire truck hit like another van. Regardless, the sad, like, I don't want to scare anybody. Please don't like not come to the Philippines because of this, but be careful still, because even if you do everything correctly and you do your due diligence, something could happen on the road, right? So it's unfortunate, but as a result, I've seen also multiple cities like Iloilo, I think, and Cebu City, the South Bus Terminal, they had random drug tests. So the agencies came down, 50 people at a time, not at a time, but they took like 50 bus drivers and tested them for drugs, and none of them came back positive, which is a great sign. So, but yeah, so if you're, sometimes I've been in vans where the guy is just like, he thinks he's in like a NASCAR race or F1 or whatever. It just seems like they're really, really pushing the line of safety, like just speeding, and they got to get to one place to another. I don't know what's going on, but just be careful if you have any control over that. So yeah, not to be too negative, but it is part of reality in the Philippines. If you do want to travel, if you want to like island hop and you don't have your own transportation, which is a whole different story. But yeah, it's a reality and it's a risk, I guess, some people are willing to take or have to take, right? I mean, no road is safe in any country, but try to do your part to maybe go with a credible place, a credible company, pay that little extra money if you have to, just for your own safety. So yeah, my morning routine, if you saw me, usually in the mornings I wake up between 8:30 or 9:30. I'm not a morning person, as you can tell, right? I have a coffee, usually I just make it at home because I want to have a coffee instantly, and I just use a basic, coffee. I never used to be able to drink coffee black, but now as I'm getting older, I think I could tolerate a bit more. That Canadian double is not sitting well here in the Philippines because getting the cream and all that's also another challenge. So drinking coffee black in the morning with usually a piece of like wafer or cookie or something, some kind of sweet to balance off that bitterness. And then I just like kind of spend my next couple hours checking up on YouTube or just relaxing and waking up. And then by lunchtime, I put in a couple hours of editing a video that I'm working on. And usually I don't have lunch, but sometimes I do. If it's from the night before, I put something in the microwave and eat that. And then I go to the mall, right? So I do my interviews. And the evenings, pretty straightforward. In the, where's my phone? I'm trying to, what? Oh, there it is. In the evenings, I go to a nearby cafe, have another coffee or milk tea or something, and just kind of people watch, just relax, go on social media, talk to my friends, whoever the locals, or you know, try to set up a date if I can, if I'm single, whatever's going on, right? So you can do a whole bunch of stuff, and in the evenings you can go for dinner in a night market, in a mall, a lot of restaurants. The good thing about Cebu, at least, there's a lot of international restaurants that are pretty good. So if you want Italian food, like authentic Italian food, they got a few nice pizza places. They've got a lot of Japanese places. Of course, the cost is going to be more, but you're either retired or you're in the Philippines, you're traveling. Sometimes you don't worry about cost too much because you save a lot of money overall. So spending a little extra on an evening or two is not a big deal. And also now they have the Tops is open again in Cebu City, where it's like a little area where it's in a really elevated location right outside of Cebu City. So you can see the whole city when you go there. Just make sure you have transportation back. Now getting there is easy, but coming back sometimes in the evening can be difficult trying to find a Grab or a motorcycle or a taxi. They'll really, really try to charge you like 10 times the actual price to get down the hill. So it's just like a nice viewpoint with a couple of nice restaurants, a great place to take a date or just to enjoy the city from above and see the city lights, and just a cool place to hang out. I'll get into some more stuff, and feel free to ask your questions. Like I mentioned, anything you want to share. We got 50 something people watching this, only 12 likes. Hit that like button so more people can watch this live stream, and now let's talk about some more comments. Uh, Exinhelio or something says, no need to marry any one particular country. Spend a few months in Thailand, Laos, Vietnam, Philippines, Bali, and rinse, lather, and repeat. Variety is the spice of life. Yeah, one thing that kind of hit me the other day, I came to a realization. When I sometimes speak of places or whatever, and a lot of times, whether I like it or not, in my mind, it's comparing to other places I've visited. And I forget that sometimes the Philippines is the only country somebody may have traveled to, the first country they've traveled to, and they've just stayed there. So they've never been to any other country, therefore they don't know any better, right? So whether it's a positive experience or negative experience, it's not very, I don't say accurate, but like, I think because they haven't traveled to, for example, if the first time you travel outside the US and the first country you went to was the Philippines, you might think all Asian countries are like that, but they're not. They're very different from each other. And that's why I agree. I think if you can, which most of you should be able to, if you want to live in Southeast Asia, spend a few months in each place and see which one actually matches your personality, your lifestyle. There's a lot of things that you may really, really enjoy about one country, but really dislike about another country. So some of the biggest barriers can be that language, right? It could be the food, right? It can be whatever it is, the weather, although it's pretty much the same. But I know, for example, the Philippines unfortunately suffers from a lot more natural disasters, so that, a beach house that you were thinking about, maybe you might reconsider or something, right? I don't know. I'm not going to be living on a beach anytime soon, but if I did, I think that would be my number one priority. Is this place prone to typhoons and all that? I don't know. So something to consider for sure. And is it close to a hospital? Is there emergency relief system or response good enough for me? Especially if I'm retiring, I'm probably older, right? If I'm nearing 70 or 75 years old, I can't really be doing the stuff that I'm doing now. I mean, I wouldn't want to be. I don't think so. I probably want some security, some safety, some stability, not just like go from week to week not knowing where I'm going to be. Let's see. Somebody's talking about the format. Yeah, this is doing this way because it's meant to be on a phone, not like a laptop or horizontal. Keith says the bus driver in Baguio was nerve-wracking, looking down on winding mountain roads. Yeah, those like every single, and it's not just the Philippines. Thailand's the same, and even in Malaysia, I remember being in a very mountainous area, and this guy was just taking turns. Like, I don't know, man. It's almost like they don't care, or they don't. They want trouble. It feels like that, although I'm sure it's not, but it can be dangerous. Pat S says, which area do you suggest to stay in the Philippines? That's a very, very, um, I don't know, it depends on what you're into, right? So if you're like a surfer dude, everybody says Siargao. I've never been there, but I hear it's like a mini Bali, right? So if you're into surfing, for example, Siargao. If you're into like just really laid back, relaxed, small community and cost of living, maybe Dumaguete. I'm not a big fan because I don't see what the big hype is, but I'm not also in retirement age, so I don't know. I don't drink either, so maybe a whole different thing for me. For me, Cebu City is great because I travel often, so it's got an international airport. Also, it's got all the islands that I want to see, from like just a 2 hour to 6 hour bus ride from the north to the south of Cebu. You can see many, many small, beautiful islands if you want that kind of life. But it's also got the city feel where I can just basically be very comfortable with the connection, with the internet connection, no brownouts, a lot of people, right? It's a big city, right? A lot of foreigners, a lot of, 25 to 30, let's just be honest, 20 to 30-year-old women that I can interview, that I can socialize with, all these things. It's got a whole bunch of stuff that fits my lifestyle, right? So, and a lot of international restaurants and, whatever. So Cebu City for me works out. If you're into business, if you like, if you're a business professional, maybe check out BGC if you want like high standard of living where you don't feel like you're actually in the Philippines. It just feels like another major city. So it really comes down to what you want. Just trying to see other places I've been to. If you want that quiet life where nobody bothers you, check out Siquijor, or even San Carlos was nice and clean when I went to check that place out. So it depends really on what you want. Surike says, I have a 1 day layover in Cebu before going to Dumaguete. Any expensive hotel near airport you suggest? Inexpensive. Not at all. I don't stay at hotels usually. I do Airbnb, but you could find anything from around $20. So anything cheaper than that, I wouldn't suggest staying in anyways, because who knows, right? The quality, the roaches, the cleanliness, all that kind of stuff you might have to deal with. So there's tons of options. Just go on any booking site. Agoda is one of them. Expedia, another one. Even Airbnb one night near the airport if you want like a home feeling. Well, I personally don't recommend Airbnb for one night. It's just unnecessary because you pay Airbnb fees, taxes, cleaning fee, all that stuff. Just stay at a hotel for one night. But there's a whole bunch of them near the airport, so it shouldn't be a problem. And don't forget to take the white taxis and tell them to run the meter if they somehow doesn't. Cebu should be okay, but now they're getting a little bit tricky too. I remember telling that to the taxi driver my last trip. I'm like, oh, you guys are trying to be like Manila now because he didn't want to like turn on the meter. I'm like, buddy, I've been here for 5 years. So then it's like, I don't know. So be careful about that. And then, yeah. What else? Ooh, that's a good question. Zena Marie says, when it comes to appliances, have you found better to borrow, purchase, or go somewhere else to use them, or go without it? For washing machine, dryer, hand mixers, crock pots, toasters, ovens. So most apartments in the Philippines come furnished already, so they have the major appliances, like the fridge, for example, of course, the television and all that. As far as washing machines, I would not recommend buying a washing machine. I don't know. I wouldn't want to buy major appliances in the Philippines. I've heard some bad stories. There's no refund policy that I know of, exchange or whatever. It may be a big headache to buy a washing machine, to carry it out, to get it, hooked up and all that. I don't know, because that is one issue though in the Philippines, I must admit. For people with my budget, for people spending around $500 a month to try to rent a place in the Philippines, which is actually, let's be real, it's pretty much double what the normal average person, or even triple, or even quadruple the rent somebody pays in the Philippines, a local. What I'm saying is, with that price, even at that, most places you don't get a washing machine. There's no dryers either. So it's annoying to have to go and do your laundry. However, in the apartment I'm staying, there's a laundry store or whatever you want to call it right downstairs, and you pay about $6, let's just say $6. They wash, dry, and fold it for you, which is not bad. Like, of course it could be cheaper if you want, but imagine having to buy a whole washing machine, hook it up, stall it, something happens, you got to move, then you got to carry that. I don't know. So if you're staying somewhere permanently, long term, a year or two, if you bought a piece of land, if you have your own property, then yeah, of course, buying would make sense. But for me, in my daily lifestyle, I just go to those stores. And the other stuff, small, like crock pots, toasters, and all that, you can just buy it on Lazada or Shopee. Very, very inexpensive. I've done it before. I bought a toaster, I bought a coffee maker, no problem at all. I'll buy those because they're really, really, really cheap and affordable. And worst case scenario, you lose like $5 to $10. It's not a big deal. Monet says, how are you? I'm great, thank you. I'm going to Asia. For me, it's between Bali or Coron or El Nido. What's your recommendations? I heard that Philippines is better. Is that true? I worried about the communication. Nah. Okay, so Bali communication wouldn't be an issue. A lot of foreigners there, most foreigners than locals. There's a very big difference between Bali and Coron or El Nido, though, just to be clear. Bali is very, like, I know Bali is huge as well, and depending on which small town you stay in, but Bali is like a tourist destination. So is El Nido, but El Nido and Coron, they're more quiet. They're very, very, they're a lot less developed as well. Like transportation, restaurants, all these things is very local, despite the popularity of it being a destination. That's why I think a lot of people love Palawan, right? Because it's so beautiful, but not very touristy. So the amenities are not where you expect as a tourist, for example. So you got to be really aware and ready to get like low pressure water, maybe not even a water heater in some of the places you're staying. Maybe the local markets and shops close a bit earlier. It's not as big, it's not as populated. So it depends on what you want. If you want be in the mix of things in a party scene, if you want to see a whole bunch of tourists, all that stuff, just people in general, Bali is the place to be. Bali, the one thing I do like, even though I was not impressed by it because I had this whole vision of Bali in my head, but when I went there, it was just like 99 out of 100 people are tourists, full of traffic. Anyways, all that, regardless. So let me get back on track. So they're very different. I would really recommend you visit both places and then make a decision where you want to stay long term. A quick shout out here quickly to a $5 super sticker from AI Art Collective, my regular moderator. Thank you. What's up, Alex? Here's to the iced coffee and fun. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so thank you for the $5. I'm going to buy iced coffee later today, which I've kind of slowly developed a taste for, I'll be honest. In the mornings, I have to have a hot coffee. In the afternoon, I go for iced coffee. I never thought I'd be drinking iced coffee before traveling to Asia, but now I am. So it is what it is. People change. You develop, you grow, you try new things, and sometimes you like it. So thank you, AI Art Collective, for that $5. I appreciate that, my man. Let's go back up to the questions and the comments, and we'll get up to this. So let me see if I wrote anything else about my daily life so I can share with you guys. I mean, my daily life is very straight up, simple, no complications, very laid back. I have no responsibilities, essentially, right? So, and during lunchtime, I don't really eat breakfast, like I said, but at lunch, I might eat the leftovers. But you can also check out the pool, the gym. You can just really just be lazy all day if you want. So go for a swim. Most places, not most, some places have swimming pools in Cebu. Not as much as Bangkok, but some of them do. And if you can go to our neighboring condo to use it, you can just buy a day pass for that. What else? And yeah, it's a good place to meet people. By the pool, there's other people swimming, other guests, tourists. Even at the gym, even if you don't work out, just go and just walk for 30 minutes on a treadmill just to get the air conditioning if you don't want to walk out on the streets in the heat, right? Another great place to meet people and keep in shape a little bit, right? Because the Philippines and all these Southeast Asian countries will have you gaining weight quick time, depending on how long you stay, right? So, because you can start eating and not worrying, just living that great life and before you know it, you packed on a few pounds. Um, yeah, don't worry about Bob, guys. I kicked him off the channel. I got another one here. Says flying from Bangkok to Manila, for example, is 150 bucks to $200. It's dirt cheap. It's even cheaper for Asian cities, exactly, closer together. No need for a long-term visa hassle either if you're always on the move. Exactly. I agree. And that's why I do what I do now, the lifestyle I have. I don't plan from now on probably staying anywhere more than 3 months. Before, like even the Philippines, as much as I love it, the world's a big place. I want to go travel. I want to go see. I want to bring these live streams while I'm actually walking outside somewhere that provides me good Wi-Fi connection, good data, right? So I'd love to go outside and do this, guys, but the SIM cards that are used here, there's no unlimited package that I know of. I mean, True says they have it, but after a certain use, the speed really drops, so they have conditions to the unlimited whatever. But that's a whole different story. So hopefully in the future, these live streams can be from outside somewhere, from a night market, from a beach, from wherever, as long as there's a good connection. So keep in touch for those. Skippy says, should one avoid women with tattoos in the Philippines? I'm gonna say something that's gonna offend a lot of you guys because I know from what I see in the comments, I think that's gotta be one of the silliest things I've heard. Not what you're saying, but what people say, that women with tattoos are automatic red flag. No, tattoos are a trend, okay? It's not back in the day where a gangster would only get a tattoo or a hooker would get a tattoo. Times have changed. How many guys do you see walking around? Pretty much everybody nowadays between 20 and 30 has some kind of tattoo. So are we gonna just completely dismiss all those men as well? In the Philippines, in Asia, tattoos aren't necessarily a bad thing. And a lot of it comes from culture, trends, people being young, doing whatever, right? I don't have them because, why put bumper stickers on a Ferrari, right? So, yeah, you all know that. But no, for real, tattoos are not a big deal because some of my good Filipino friends that I can wholeheartedly trust that are women have tattoos. And not like on their face, that's just, come on. If someone has a tattoo on their face, that's something I'd avoid. But a regular tattoo of a mermaid or something that means a lot to them, a dog, or whatever it may be, right? So an ocean on the ankle, maybe they have something to cover, maybe a birthmark, or you don't know. But I will tell you one thing that's a huge red flag. This is obvious, but I'm going to say it anyway. If a woman has a tattoo right below her stomach here, obviously that's to cover a C-section. Now, if you guys don't know that, there's your insider tip. So no, I would say do not avoid a woman with tattoos. Now, if a woman's got like a tattoo on her inner thigh that's this big and it's a flower or something really colorful, that could be a slight red flag. So it just really comes down to where the tattoo is. If it's on the face, automatic red flag. So for me, I'll be honest, to me it's kind of hot, a woman with tattoos, because it automatically screams like venture a little bit or not so conservative maybe. Now, would I wife up a girl with full of tattoos? I don't know, but I don't think it's as big a deal as some people might think it is because it's very different, a tattoo, than a tongue ring, for example. Come on, that would be a red flag for me. But like a tattoo, personally, not a big deal, and I don't think a lot of people should worry so much about it. A lot of women get tattoos of like a Bible scripture or a line here or a heart or something like that. And that is okay, but if you got like a big, I don't know. I'm just getting all over the place. It depends. Let's just put it that way then. Mellow likes balls. Hey, Pat S says, I've heard of the Songkran Festival in Thailand. We're coming soon. Do you have plans to join there? Hey, Pat S, man, do you know me personally? I think maybe. Yeah, I plan to go to Songkran Festival in Thailand. I'm gonna go see Palm. I'm gonna celebrate Songkran. It's like the biggest festival in Thailand. It's like a big water fight, basically. So it should be fun. And believe it or not, I've never actually been to one. Although I've been to Thailand 8 times or 7 times, I've lost count at this point. It's always been either right before or right after. It's never been during Songkran Festival. So yeah, I can't wait. I want to go. I know there's 2 major ones, like in obviously Bangkok and Pattaya. Maybe I'll go to both. I don't know. So Watch out for that video, y'all. William O says, can I travel around Philippines in an RV or camper van? Are there campsites, camping places? I don't know anything about camping in the Philippines. I assume there are some. I know people are talking about it. I know a girl I interviewed had her own business. She just started renting out camper vans. So it's gotta be. And I know there's a lot of mountainous regions. I don't know if you can go. Actually, you can because ferries, you can put your van on a ferry and go. Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah, but I have no other details about it. Story time with James says, I'm in Bamban. Bamban. I like that name, Tarlac. I love the Philippines. A lot of people do. Yeah, definitely. Story K says, do you find your daily life to routine? How do you change it up? For me, hmm, I don't really change it up because I feel like YouTube kind of keeps me doing the same thing. So I only change up like where I eat or what I do. Sometimes on the weekends I might go somewhere. I think because I'm not fully retired, I don't really need to change up too much. And because I travel every 3 months now, I feel like it's gonna be fine. Just a change of location, change of scenery. I obviously the places change, so I can never get tired of like just going to a cafe, having a coffee, and people watch. It's just weird to me, but I can look out a window for a long time. I'm very comfortable being by myself. I'm very comfortable not thinking about anything. So for me personally, I don't worry about stuff. I don't have to be doing something to feel cool or take Instagram pictures or something to show other people I have a life. And it's funny, right? I do YouTube. I make videos every 3 days, but I kind of am a private person. Like, how much do you guys really know about me aside from what I tell you? That's part of in my videos already, right? So yeah, to me, honestly, it's not really a big deal changing up my day. But I can see how it can be boring for someone that's retired that has like a um, maybe a long-term plan of staying in the Philippines. All they do is just go to a bar daily and see the same people. I can see how that can be boring for them, but for me, it's not an issue right now. Okay, and some great question from Zena Marie. Is there a way to ask no, research or avoid corrupt landlords and neighborhoods in your own experience from living abroad? The best way, honestly, is to use Airbnb because, like, yeah, I know it's more expensive than paying rent. If you're staying short term, if you use Airbnb, staying a month usually drops the price significantly, sometimes up to 50% if you stay a month, right? By doing that, you know already Airbnb has your back. You have customer support, you have record, the people usually are registered, they don't want to mess with their units because it's going to get really low rating. So that would be the best way to ensure you have some recourse, I should say, of not dealing with corrupt landlords. For me personally, I'm in their home. I'm a grown man that's physically able. I don't want to challenge people to try to scam me or be corrupt, but I'll bust your TV. I'll take your TV. I'll break your fridge. I don't care. Like that's in my mind. If something comes down to that, I'm willing to do that. I know it sounds stupid. I would not recommend this to you guys, but that'll be my leverage, is what I'm saying, right? So why would some landlord try to scam me when I live in their home, right? And the only thing I would say is to ensure whoever you're signing a lease or a contract, make sure they're the owner, right? So some people they sublease it, and you don't want the owner coming next week saying, "What are you doing in my house?" and that does not lease this to you. It's not happened to me. I hope it doesn't happen to you. But there's really, obviously, there's certain things you can do, right? So Airbnb would be number one. Secondly, make sure the owner of the place, because you can tell. Like for example, there's been times where I've rented a place where the owners met me in the lobby, and in the Philippines, the good thing is security is really high when it comes to buildings and condos. So first of all, you have to go through their building process. So when you're in the building, where they bring up the lease, where they put your information in the computer, when you're talking to the receptionist at the lobby, they know the guy. There's a lot of signs you could pick up on it. This is a legit dude. He's been here before. There's cameras everywhere. Not that CCTV should be the only source of reliance on avoiding corruption or whatever, but so those little things, my biggest tip would be check for ID that they're the owner of the place or they actually represent the owner, right? So some people obviously are agents or legal representative. If you're going on Facebook, look at their history, look at their Facebook, see if they have personal information. How long have they been on Facebook? Have they rented out before? See if they have any family photos up there. For just like a blank page that was made yesterday, obviously, that kind of stuff will tell you a lot of things. Um, and then that's it, really. As far as down payments, don't put more than 1 month. If you're staying long term, don't put more than 1 month deposit. Even if they say two, yeah, negotiate that, because 2 months is ridiculous. My utility is not going to be 2 months worth of rent. So what I do usually, personally, if they want a deposit, I offer just half of a month, because I tell them I'm going to stay only 2 months. There's no need for a full 1 month deposit. I'll give you half of that, and you give me that back when I check out. They're usually fine with it. And I recommend, whenever you're moving somewhere, record your place. Take a video on your phone. Just make sure everything, any scratch, dent, anything that might come back to you later. Somebody say, oh, you damaged my wall. Like that was there before, and you have proof of that. Is that too much? So there's a lot of things to go over, but there'll be some tips for me right now. Can of Bean says, you ever get a moment now and then, Sunshine Shoulders talks about, where you say, what am I doing here? This is nuts. Temporary freak out. He said he gets now and then. Yeah, but that happens anywhere in life, right? Like in Canada, daily, what am I doing here? So over here, it's a lot less. It's a normal thing. It's a normal feeling. No matter what you're doing in life, you question your purpose. You question your reasoning. And maybe somebody does something, says something, somebody gets shot in a bar, and you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Life is fragile in some senses, right? Or like you get in an argument with somebody, and halfway through you realize you're arguing with a local over the stupidest thing. Trying to see, yeah, I've been frustrated before. This place is not perfect. Neither am I. So it's good to keep yourself in check. You can't just run your mouth here. We all know that does not end well. You don't have the same kind of like protection that you might have in your home country, right? Regardless of whether it's physical, emotional, financial even. So you got to be very diligent. Don't, be happy, but don't be carefree too much. Like, especially like, don't be giving out, well, some guy painting the wall a bit. don't be giving out your banking information to the girl you just met last week. Or like, I don't know. It's a lot of stuff, but you're a grown person. Take a step back, analyze what happened, and hopefully prevent it in the future. So like, here's the big thing for me. The first week I was in the Philippines years ago, anytime I went somewhere, somebody wanted to look inside my bag, I'd get offended. But I'm like, what do you think I have in my bag? Come on, is it because I'm brown? Or no, it's just stupid, right? Silly. But now I'm happily smiling. The bag's open before I get there, So things change. You understand the culture a bit more. You understand practices. Sometimes I'm waiting for my coffee, and I see the girls are laughing, having a great time. They haven't even got to making my coffee, even though there's nobody else around. I could say something, but I don't. I just look on my phone or do something just to pass 10 seconds. Then they get on making my coffee. So a lot of things like that happen, but it's a normal feeling, I think, and that can happen in any country. Story time with James says, we hang our clothes outside. They get dry pretty quick. All you need is a washing machine that spins your clothes. Yeah, it's true. No need for dryers in the Philippines. Yeah, Jerry, I agree. That's not hot at all. MG says, I'm a little older, and tattoos are a red flag. I could be wrong, but it's generally a sign. Yeah, we talked about that a whole bunch, so I'm not going to go over that. Chuggy says, tattoos on Thai girls are fine. However, Western ones look trashy. Bar girls are constantly marking up their bodies with them. Total turn off, each to their own, as they say. Yeah, and I think there's also the difference between tattoos. There are tasteless tattoos, and there are tattoos that are meaningful maybe, and you shouldn't judge people based off of that. That's just my personal opinion because of the people I know. Like I said, I know a lot of good people, like long, like I know them that are women that have tattoos, and I'll trust them with my life. So, but there are girls without tattoos that'll scam you and rob you and kill you even. So tattoos don't automatically make them, but they can be a sign, definitely. I agree. bringing a bicycle, Zaina, Marie, don't bring anything over here. Bringing a bike, I definitely don't recommend it unless you're like a professional bike rider where your bike costs 30 grand or something. And even then, trying to ship a bike over here might be costly. And good luck not having it damaged. You know how many hands that bike goes through, and one of those people are gonna just mash up your bike. I wouldn't recommend it. Even right, I don't know where you can ride a bike in the roads. You come here, you'll see. Just don't bring a bike. Don't buy a bike ahead of time. It's difficult to even walk sometimes in the Philippines, let alone ride a bike. Now, if you're going to province, yeah, that would be a different story. But I assume you're not going to the province based off your questions. Zaina says, what are you allowed to or able to carry to defend yourself if need be? If you don't mind saying, do you carry anything to use something? Nah, I carry these hands. No, I don't. I personally don't. I've never been in danger in the Philippines. I don't get involved with places, people, situations where I would need to protect myself. I'm not saying 100% I'm safe, but if you're like a normal person, you don't have to worry about safety in the Philippines. If you're not going to late night back alleys, hanging out with drug dealers, screaming at random people, thinking you're entitled. If you're not being disrespectful, if you're just a normal tourist, the Filipinos will love you. Whether you're a guy, girl, young, old, whatever it is, you shouldn't have a problem as far as safety goes. Jessa says hello. Hello, Jessa. Surrey says, have you sent AirAsia Move Pass, unlimited travel with the countries they go to around two? What? I didn't know anything about that. Surrey case, I'm gonna have to look at that. That's amazing because just a flight between Bangkok and Manila is more than that. Yeah, I'll have a look into that. That must be a domestic thing, no? International? Boo. So Surrey case says, have you seen AirAsia's Move Pass, unlimited travel with the countries, okay, they go to? About 288 USD. For me, I'll pay $2,000 almost for that because I would 6-7 times a year easily. Last year, like I know AirAsia doesn't cover all the places, but they cover enough for the 288 to be a wonderful deal. So I'll look into that for sure. Oh, so thank you. I want to give a big thanks to AI Art Collective that's gone ahead and moderated this chat since we have a lot of clowns on here. So that's the problem, right? When you do these vertical live streams, sure, I might get some new eyes on the channel, but it's gonna be a lot of youngsters, a lot of kids, a lot of people that have never been to the Philippines or plan on going, and they usually, or sometimes, actually a lot of times, flood the comment section with nonsense stuff. So AI Art Collective is my moderator today, who's helping me clean up some of this mess. 1 second. I want to take a look here. I meant to do this last time, but okay. AI Art Collective says, if she has trendy tattoos or does anything for trends, red flag. Yeah, it does show a little bit of immaturity. But as far as trends, I meant like just for the past decade, overall trend, tattoos have become, or 2 decades even. I know when I was younger, like somebody had a small tattoo here, it was just like, ooh, look at this guy. You know, now you can be any Joe Blow, whatever, and get like your whole body tattooed, which is weird. Ling Ling confirms my assumption by saying we don't have many bike lanes in the Philippines. Nawal official says salam, salam. Slebby Caddy says I have 43 fucking cents. Urgh. Well, yeah, you know, it sucks, bro. But if you have a phone and Wi-Fi, which means you're not completely broke, right? So hopefully you have 43 million one day. Joshua says hello. Hi. Steven says hi. Okay, so every man repeats stories here. He said, I can handle myself. Never been afraid. Aussie made traveler. Do you get bored in Cebu? I don't get bored. I have a lot of things going on in my life to not get bored. However, I can see why somebody would get bored. If you stay in Cebu for too long, if you're single, eventually you're gonna run out of shit to do. Just the way it is. But it should take you a long time. I feel like boredom is sometimes self-inflicted. If you do enough research, if you look enough places, you'll find something that will interest you. It may have less things to do in your immediate vicinity, like other places, you know, but I think you can find always something to do for sure. Who is this? Let me see. I'm gonna delete this person. Okay. I love rocks have been removed from the channel. How hard to get a girl to move to America? I have no idea. I wouldn't want to bring. If I'm coming to the Philippines, usually because I want to get away from Canada, not to bring somebody there personally. And you know that saying, "Don't bring them back home." There's some truth to it, right? A lot of times, men that do want to bring their women back to North America tend to marry a lot younger, out of their league, and eventually, if that woman goes to school or work, they're gonna have people that they can relate with a lot better. So chances of them leaving is higher, I would say, definitely, than if you were to move to the Philippines. If you're serious about the question, contact Ovis. I have a video where I interviewed. The name of the video is what I learned after 40 years in the Philippines. And in that video, he's the guy that does exactly what you're looking for. He does all the visa stuff. I put his contact in there. Take a look. He'll help you out. And there's a discount code in there if you want to use it. But people have done it. It's possible. I don't know what the difficulty level. Zaina Marie says, good to hear about the self-defense thing. I've just heard from family visiting other countries in South America. I didn't know if people got fat tired bicycle in the Philippines. Thank you. Fat tired bicycle, the big, yeah, it's not, I have not seen many cyclists in the Philippines. And South America is dangerous, of course, some countries. Chugzy says, I just looked up that Air Asia Move Pass. It's good for 1 year and meant for foreigners. My guess is that similar to the JR Pass requirements in Japan. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. Definitely I'll take a look. Chuggy says to Surrey Case, thank you, bro, for sharing your knowledge on that one. Yeah, cool. Sophie said, you're really cute, though. I know, right? I'm kidding. Thank you, Sophie. I appreciate it. JR Pass in Japan is the best. You use it for 2 weeks to bounce around Kyoto, Osaka, and Tokyo. Yeah, for sure, right? If people are planning to travel, that's a great tip. Honestly, I'm going to have to look into the Air Asia Pass. Ooh, only available to buy until March. I'll get on that immediately. Why do you hate Asian? I don't think I do, bro. You're on the wrong channel if you think I hate Asia or Asians. It's me, says hello. Hello. Jonesy says, hi, mate. I like your interview style. Thank you, Jonesy. I like to think I've kind of mastered it, perfected it. Honestly, I enjoy talking to people, and sometimes I like to think I'm a good reader of people, so if I feel I change my style. I don't ask the same questions. I don't ask the same speed of questions. I don't ask the same personal questions. It depends on what the person tells me. And even no matter the age, the gender, I feel like I can kind of tell what people are comfortable with or not comfortable with. So I don't ask exact same questions with everybody, right? But I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. I got another one coming up tomorrow about foreigners. I'm gonna say pleasant surprise in the Philippines. I don't know which one it is. I have to edit it to the air tomorrow. So yeah. I'm just going through the comments, guys. Give me a second. We're gonna do this for 10 more minutes. So ask any final questions that you have. Take a second. Take a second. Like this video. Hit the like button so more people can watch this. And ask any questions that you have. I'll try to get to them as much as I can. Oh yeah, true. Exon Helio says, I can't imagine paddling. Why can't I read? Paddling a boat? No. Once again, he says, I can't imagine pedaling a bike in tropical Asian heat, let alone all the road hazards. Yeah, you're battling multiple things in Asia, and not even, yeah. So those two things should be enough for one to consider taking a taxi. Zaina Marie says, would I be able to, as a foreigner, to sell my own art and handiwork, prices to make a living there? Or do they require you to be considered a local legal seller with a business license? An excellent question. Legally, you cannot work in any of these countries because you're most likely coming on a tourist visa. I know you are, because to get a work visa is difficult, and I don't think you mean it that way. So I would say I don't know. I would be very careful. In Southeast Asia, I mean, they'll just deport you. But in Southeast Asia, jealousy is also a big thing when it comes to foreigners being successful in a local place. Because as you can imagine, people are struggling sometimes. They don't know how to make money. They can't make money. If they see a foreigner come set up shop and start earning money, they might rat you out. So they might tell on you. They might tell the government officials, Bureau of Investigation might look into it. And since you're not supposed to be working, they might like kick you out. Now, if you want to do that within like an online community, that might be a bit different. Although technically you should not still be doing it. But if I were you in your position, I would just try to gauge if there's any demand. Because don't forget, in Asia, things are cheap. Labor is cheap, materials are cheap. They might be able to get similar things that you're making for half the price. Who knows? I don't know what you're doing, what you're making. But so technically, you shouldn't be working here. If you're doing it online, let's say it's set up in the US, but you have your materials in the Philippines, that might be a great area that you can try to wiggle with. I don't know. I don't want to tell you to do something illegal, but yeah, look into it. Sorry, guys, give me a second. I have another super chat I want to read. Jonesy, thank you. I appreciate that. 70 pesos coffee run. Pick up coffee. $2, huh? Is that Canadian or USD? If it's Canadian, it's over $7. Because right now, $1, one USD is 56 pesos. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. So you know how much it costs. A latte is 70 pesos. Thank you, Jonesy. Much appreciate that. And AI Art Collective as well for the super thanks, super stickers. I don't know if they're super stickers or super thanks or super chats. I can't tell the difference, but thank you guys. I appreciate that. Thank you for that coffee. So let me go back to the live chat, and then we got 5 more minutes, and I'll wrap this up probably. I'm going to catch up to... the questions here. There you go. Oh, I know why this is happening. I keep putting the water on this suitcase that I'm using as a stool for this phone, and it keeps moving it. I'll put the water down here. Jonesy says, great video yesterday on your apartment tour on Coffee Run. Thank you. And I guess that's what the 70 pesos for. I appreciate that. So yeah, yesterday, as I mentioned earlier in this video, I want to do more videos like that, right? So just more vlogging kind of stuff. But it's a lot of work, man. To put that video together took me probably 5 to 6 times the amount of time to put a regular street interview editing-wise. I mean, street interviews is more difficult where I have to like cold approach people, talk to them, all that stuff. So they both have their ups and downs. With the street interviews, I like it because like editing is not as difficult, because usually I let people talk and you just could put 4 videos together, do an intro and outro, and the transitions in the middle. But the daily life, the travel one, the food stuff, it's a lot of work, man. So not that I purposely stay away from those, but I also find that the views aren't there as much. Although you and I might like it a lot of the viewer, a lot of the audience, they want to hear the street interviews. So if you can go on that, you'll see it's only got about 5,000 views compared to like 50,000 that an interview might get, or 20,000. So monetarily, it's not good either. So you get all these things put together, which brings me to do one of those a couple weeks maybe. I'll do like a regular video. Anyways, that's my life story. Let's go on to the next one. Damn, Damien Ferguson says, can I get a shout out on my life support? I hope that's a joke. Runs with knives. What's up, Alex? Not much. Hello, hello, hello. Whoa. Gabe, or Gabe. What's the cost per month there? How long is a piece of string, right? So it depends on what your lifestyle is. If you're smoking, if you're drinking, if you're a whore, or if you're, depends, whatever. If you're just a regular guy, if you're single, if you're in a relationship, if you're coming with family, if you're living in Cebu City, if you're living in Siquijor, there's a lot of things. But my typical spending is $1,200 to $1,500 a month US. I live comfortably. I don't live lavishly, but I don't live poor. I live very comfortably. AI Art Collective, I gotta run. I gotta go. Thanks for hosting the live, Alex. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you, AI Art Collective, for the $5 and for moderating this chat. I appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day. Ronnie Rambo, check out my video from yesterday, man. It's called A Day in the Life of a Foreigner in the Philippines. I gave you contact, name and number, who to contact for 1 month rental in IT Park. Check it out. Happy Camper is here. Hello, Happy Camper. Life is good. Yep. Can I do a backflip? I don't know. I've never tried. I don't think so. Jonesy said, let's go, people. Buy Alex a coffee. Thank you, Jonesy. If you guys are enjoying this, you want to show some extra love and support, there's a super thanks button there, super chat. I don't know what it is. Basically, give me money is what I'm saying. Can you do a backflip? Kidding, guys, please. Sometimes jokes don't come across as jokes, but yeah, of course, if you want to show support, like AI Art Collective and Jonesy, feel free to use that super thanks button. Much appreciated. Jonesy says AC/DC. Awesome. Yeah, Zaina Marie. Most people in the Philippines are kind. I agree. SRTV 8 or 10 said, good day. I just stumbled across your video. What is the best advice that you could give for somebody who would like to move to the Philippines? And hello from Canada. Hey, what's up, a fellow Canadian? So for me personally, my best advice for someone coming to the Philippines or to move here would be to not commit too soon. Don't commit to a person, don't commit to a location, don't commit to anything. If you're coming here, come here, explore a bit, find your actual place you fit well. I would say do not commit too fast. That would be my biggest tip or advice for someone. Suri K said, do you run into many Canadians in Cebu? I've run into quite a few. I'd say about, I won't say many, but there are some. Not as much as Americans, British, Aussies, even Germans and Russians are more than Canadians, but some. Charlie says, a bunch of Canadians here in the stream. Hey, yeah. What happened in Canada recently that bothered me? I can't remember. But what doesn't bother people in Canada? These days, man, Canada, I don't know. It's getting crazy out there. Hey, Jeff's here. Tetrich Jeff, Unstable Freak. Good morning, Alex. My province area is improving with more development, but my uncle's place is Cebu. My uncle's place in Cebu. The sidewalks are still badly damaged or not fixed. Makes little sense to me, lol. Yeah, I think a lot of that comes from budget, probably allocating funds to different priority areas and figuring people can manage and walk by themselves or something. But even Cebu Mayor Rama wants to get rid of all the skywalks because they're not being used properly. The students are like, okay, how are we going to cross the road? It's bad as it is. So yeah, I hope something comes from that. That guy's got a lot of ambitions, Mayor Rama. He wants to be the next Singapore and start building underneath tunnels for people to cross. David Anderson says, hi, no YouTubers talk about how to marry a Philippines girl if you've been married and her husband left her. You take her to Hong Kong? I don't know anything about that. I wouldn't recommend anybody marrying anybody personally. If you love somebody, just stay with them, be with them. Unless it's a religious reason, at that point, I don't know. But talk to Mike. Check out the video I put out a couple weeks ago called What I Learned After 40 Years in the Philippines. He'll help you through all your visa, marriage, all that stuff. He's got a lot more information. Contact him. His contact info is in that video and in the description and the comments of that video. Give him a shout. Story time with James says, I gotta go. Take easy room. See us, Alex. See you, bud. Take it easy. Alex, you have PayPal as YouTube takes 30%. Good point, Jonesy. I appreciate that comment as well. So whoever's considering sending a super thanks, super stickers, or even whatever, YouTube takes about 30% of whatever you send. So I have Jonesy asking me if I have PayPal. I do. It's called, my PayPal is at Canadian TEFL Teacher. I put it in here for whoever wants to I should put it on the channel too, but I don't want to pressure anybody. So let me see. Live streaming, living abroad. I'm gonna find myself doing a live stream. Not now. Oh, there I am. Hey, handsome man. There. So I'm gonna pin this as well for people to see. I pinned my PayPal for you guys to see if you guys want to show some love that way, and I'll get back to these messages. Thank you, Jonesy, for bringing that up. Okay. Zaina Marie says, cost of average single adult with pets rent does not drink or smoke or party living there for at least a year or two, if not more, would need to have a cool place to live due to health conditions. Yeah, I'd say the pet is not going to be much of an issue. Just kind of find a place that accepts pets. You might want to, obviously, a yard or something if you want to rent a house. For what you've described, I would say to live comfortably, 1200 US would be fine, because even if 500 is for your rent, you still have $700 a month in the Philippines to live a comfortable life, which is a lot of money. So you should be fine with that much. Ken Padua says hi, hello. Blue says, ew, Canada. I wouldn't go as far as saying ew, because I still love my country. I'm a Canadian. I love like the overall thing, but there are a lot of like things in it that bother me. So, but yeah, Blue doesn't like Canada. Chuggy says, unfortunately, Canadians are very unfriendly and rude to one another in bigger cities these days. Yeah, bigger cities, more problems, more rudeness, less time to be pleasant to people. David Anderson says, I'm moving to Bohol. I'm Canadian from Alberta, and there's a lot of Canadians there also, I know. Yeah, there are quite a few Canadians in Cebu. My place in the Philippines is Cebu. Jess Smith, that's pretty funny. Says, what do you look for in a man? I don't, my man. I don't look for men. Let's see. What part of Philippines are you in? Cebu. How many people do you scam every day? Me? Viper Cam? Are you talking to me, bro? Let me go ahead and kick you off this channel, my man, because I don't like your attitude or the insinuation that I scam people. I don't think people understand what scamming is. Bones says, I have a question. Ask a question, Bones, and then I'll end this live stream. Okay, let me take a quick second to thank everybody for being here, for participating, for watching, for asking your questions. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, so thank you guys for just being part of this live stream as always. And then obviously, I'm going to thank AI Art Collective and Jonesy for donating to the channel. Of course, it's going to help out. And then let me see what else questions we have here. Live chat. Ba, ba, ba. Thank you, Hashem. Hello, Hashem. Opinions on hydraulic energy. I don't know nothing about hydraulic energy. That's it, guys. So next video is going to be about street interviews, a bunch of foreigners in the Philippines. And then we'll do a live after that, whatever topic that is. And then we'll get that out of the way. Jeff says, have a nice day. Thank you, Jeff. You as well. That's it. Bye, guys. I read everything.